line everything up for you to be ready to serve him. And that's where, I love how my cousins acquired Mississippi, Southern First jurisdiction in Mississippi. They have a song, and the song says, "Give me a heart to surrender and the will to say yes." That's deep, because when you surrender your heart to the Lord, you surrender your will. You don't have to go around looking like a monk, looking like whatever, priests wear their priestly attire when they're doing ministry, when they're doing, the Holy Sacrament in the Catholic Church. All preachers wear their episcopal attire because they represent the ministry of and go to bed. I'm for sure they're not sleeping in all of their color shirts and none of that. They gonna sit in front of the TV, some fried chicken, some pizza, and they gonna watch the game. But at the end of the day, the arrogancy, oh, don't do that. And I remember we was talking about earlier before the show. Um, all of these leaders of big churches where members are struggling, need help with their light bill, need help with their gas bill, or they lost their job and they're trying to find food, they're trying to find clothes, they're lost. And some of these churches, you have so many members, you designating different preachers over a certain number of people by name. So Minister J is going to be over A through D, and then Minister 1, 2, 3 going to be over the next one, and all of them. So they have to go through all of these people to be able to get the service they needed. They may not get a phone call but at least 2 a day. By the time they get it, then the main leader, you have to make an appointment to talk to that leader. And that's one thing I don't like about the churches, is that I don't want to go through the pre-elders or the pre-ministers to get to the pastor that I chose. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think your voice is still breaking up. Yeah, it's still muffled. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going
Oh,
on with
can
the.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's so muffled. Um, so I don't know what's going on tonight. Apparently, the enemy seems like the enemy do not want us to have this conversation about title-driven people. I just don't understand. Even though we logged out and logging back in, but somehow it seems like you're getting a lot of feedback on your end. I don't know what devices you're using, or are you too close to your phone,
I
or
have the iPhone.
you have what phone you
I
have?
have the iPhone.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Why is it so muffled? It sounds like it's muffled when you talk. I mean, at the beginning it was okay, but now it's like it's so muffled where you can barely hear what you're saying.
Got my iPad. Hold on right there.
Again,
Let
we're
me
in the
try my iPad.
studio, folks, and we apologize for any inconvenience
Huh?
about this conversation. Dr. Sanders is in the middle of having a conversation about why people are so title driven in the world today. And it amazes me that people are actually letting titles get to their heads. Um, it's just, you find that people with titles are nasty, and they feel as though that they can talk to you any kind of way. And when it comes to the church, um, it seems like some people don't even want to go back to certain churches because of the way that they're treated when they go to the house of the Lord. You have leadership that talk to people real bad, just disrespectful. You have ushers that talk to people really, really badly. You have bishops that look down on people. You have pastors that look down on people, and you have people that just got promoted to have titles, they think that they have arrived, and it's a serious problem that we're having right now. Where you look around, where people in church and even people in the world, people that carry titles, they think that they get to talk to people any kind of way, and that's not fair to people that's trying to come to Christ, that's trying to come to God and trying to find out about God, or is just trying to find a home church. But once they come on one Friends and Family Sunday, what happens? Somebody, some saint, some church member of that church decides that they are going to not speak to people. You got people with titles that don't even speak to you when they have a certain part of Sunday service where they tell you it's time to meet and greet your neighbor. You got people that won't even leave their seats to even go talk to nobody. You got people that won't even shake your hand in church. You got people, leaders that that go to your church, that will look you right in your face and won't even speak to you. And it's a sad reality that we live in, that people with titles think that they are better than other people. And what I want to say is that you don't get to look down on nobody, because if you think your stuff don't stink, your stuff stinks like everybody else stuff stinks. Just because you feel as though that you carry a title, just because you feel as though that you wear a collar, that don't mean that you get to look down on other folks. That don't mean that you get to walk around with your nose all up in the air like you better than other people in God's house, because you're not. Jesus said that he came to serve, not to be served. And why do we have these leaders walking around like they need to be served? And it's a daggone shame that we've come to this place where people think that they need people serving them. And we need to get away from that mindset. We need to get away from that thinking that just because you have a title that you are better than the next person, because you're not. Just remember, on Judgment Day, God is going to call you by your name. He's going to call you by your name. He's not going to call you Dr. So and so. He's not going to call you um, uh, Apostle so and so. He's not going to call you none of those things. What he's going to do is he's going to call you by your name. On Judgment Day, it's not going to be Apostle Moore's. On Judgment Day, it's not going to be it's Dr. Moore's. It's not going to be none of those things. You are going to be, God is going to call you by your name. And also, he's going to hold you accountable for the way that you treated his people. You, with your title, you're so nasty to folks.
Right, they are.
And you're nasty. People, title driven people, have become so nasty. And you think just because you got a title, you get to walk around talking to people any kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you right now that God's people in the world that got titles, I've seen Nebuchadnezzar fall. King Nebuchadnezzar fell and he became like a wild beast because he thought that he was so great. And God allowed King Nebuchadnezzar to fall. He became a wild man, eating berries, crawling on his knees. And folks, you better be careful treating God's people any kind of way because God would allow you to fall. God will allow you to fall flat on your face. I'm going to turn the mic back over to Dr. Sanders because she was in the middle of a conversation, but I just had to just say a few words because after Dr. Sanders is finished with this conversation, I'm going to close out. And again, we apologize for any inconvenience tonight in the studio with any noises, anything that was happening with our phones. Again, we apologize. So let I'm going to let Dr. Sanders finish the conversation about title-driven people in the church. There's some title-driven people in the church and in the world. So, Dr. Sanders, the floor is yours again.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm on my iPad, so hopefully it'll be better. So the title brings on arrogance. It brings on sin. It brings on confusion. So many people end up changing the minute you issue them a title. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't made it to the top. I didn't made it to the top. The top of what?
That's right.
That's the $99,000 question I ask. Is the top of what? Because technically, your title is causing you to be, as the Brady Bunch used to say, a stinker, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody likes a stinker. Um, I don't sit up and act like I know everything. I pay attention. I'm very observant. The games that people play, I listen to them. I observe it. I may not say anything, but the title will cause you to lose focus and then separate you from God because God is not going to chase you down to beat you to get your head together. He's not going to do
Mm-hmm.
that. See, people got it so messed up because they feel when man give you a title, then because Bishop so and so gave me this role, I'm gonna act like this. Yes, I have seen a bunch of people in a lot of churches that become narcissists. Oh, I'm in national. I'm big time. All that kind of stuff. No, you're not. You're a nut because number one, you're not serving God. You're serving man. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them want to get licenses. They want to get these licenses so they can feel I'm equal enough to challenge you. Even with in my church, women are evangelist missionaries. If you get elevated to work in a jurisdiction, you're in just that office. Just like a bishop, was a elder before he became a bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And some women feel, oh, well, see, I'm smarter than you. I got my education. I got my degrees. I know the church. I know how to do this. And I'm smarter than you. So I can talk back to you anytime I want because that's who I am. And it is wrong because no woman has any power over no man. I'm sorry. You don't tell a man to shut up, to hurry up, don't say what you got. No, you don't do that. That's wrong. But see, if the leaders allow it to happen, this is what goes on. Now we go back into humility and selflessness. Philippians, the second chapter, the third to the fourth verse says, do nothing from selfish ambition
Mm-hmm.
or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own. Well, because I have this, I have that, I can say what I want to say. No, you can't. Because there's a way that you talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter about this, you know, the man working his feminine, the woman is alpha male, all of that kind of stuff. God don't look at none of that stuff. God don't care about that, about all that other insertions, I call it. You are what you are because you choose to be that. But
Mm-hmm.
so many of them feel that I have to do this to prove to you who I am and get the respect that I need to get. There are a lot of them that will literally, and I do mean literally, they will literally try to hurt you. I went through a recent experience helping someone, with some things to help them because they got elevated. And the brother is young enough to be one of my kids. Trust me. And literally scandalized my name because he wanted to act like, oh, this is a bachelor party or this is a birthday party. No, it was never that. When you asked me to help, I didn't beg you to bring me on. I didn't beg you to do anything. But the office that he has been elevated to, he got stupid and didn't think it didn't get back to me. Oh, she's complicated. Complicated for what? When I'm talking to the hotels, I'm setting the prices with my co-person to help. We're doing this together as a team. You literally listen to a bunch of arrogant, narcissistical men that say, oh, you run them, they don't run you. This was not about running nobody. If you ask someone to help you do something, they're doing it because they love the Lord, first of all, and they're trusting that you understand your role. It got to the point that he wanted to literally, this leader wanted the young lady to come at me like she was losing her mind. I'm like, are you crazy?
Wow.
Meaning he was trying to start a fight, and both of them the same age as my kids. Because she never met me until the night of. And I had to tell her, stand down, hold up, because I peeped the game. You didn't tell her what you told me. We had to chase him down. I worked with him to get whatever he needed because he ain't have nothing in place. But I did it because I love the Lord. I had the experience. You asked me, and I said, "Are you ready to learn?" Yeah, I'm ready to learn. Ready to learn. And the black man never said thank you. The night that everything was accomplished, the stuff that I had to deal with, the battles that I went through, I got emotionally stressed out because I kept telling him, I know what I'm doing, and so does my partner. We know what we're doing. But he wanted to fight. Well, I want it my way. I gotta have it my way because I'm this now. All that kind of stuff, like little kids do. I want my Tonka toy. That kind of stuff. When you're in business, the Bible teaches us to do business the right way. But he literally did not respect or appreciate anything. And I'm really promoting him, letting people know, the Lord has blessed him to be elevated. And this dude literally told people, and it got back to the national church. Apostle, I was ready to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know what I want to do to him. He don't know. I'm in my mind, and I'm being transparent. I was gonna call some folk from the outer side. Get this Negro, and we finna go to the lot. I'm gonna show him how to disrespect a woman. Because number one, you were wrong. Did he ever apologize? No, he didn't. I had to repent to God and ask God to forgive me for wanting to knock his head off the block and put it in my hand like David did Goliath. Because of the nastiness. And he listened to other people who were, oh, well, see, you the bishop, you tell them what to, because they don't know what they're doing. He listened to the wrong people. Never said he was sorry. Never said, can we talk? Never came to reconcile. I told my partner, I'm done. He walked right in my church, didn't even speak to me. In my church. I had to tell some people just a few months ago, you don't come to my church and act the fool. You don't come to my church to talk to any of the people that are working in my church. Why? Because I'm my pastor's, and he may get me later, but that's okay because he know I love him. I'm your seeing eye dog when you're not looking. Because it's my job to make sure that when people come into our church, that they respect God's house. And people get real promoted. Oh, well, see, I'm a district this, I'm a state this, I'm all of that. Yeah, and you stink too. I had to tell one missionary, who you talking to? And the lady's like, uh-oh. I'm like, you in my church. I will put you at that altar and put that Bible in your head and make you stay there for a long time. Because we don't do that as believers. We don't become arrogant. We don't become narcissists. We don't become tripping. We don't trip over the power. I never ran up behind my state mother. I never ran up behind my bishop. I never ran up behind none of them folk. Why? Because number one, I don't have to. You don't ever have to call me to do a solo. You don't ever have to call me to speak. You don't ever, because I don't care about that. My relationship with God is more important than running behind you. Because I didn't see people run up behind folk. They become arrogant. They end up losing their focus on God. They're more so worried about who they have been serving and whatnot. And it becomes that grandiose in the church. And the church world got it just as bad as the world. Because at least in the political game, if you washed up, you washed up. They don't care no more. Nobody really cares. I mean, the late Harold Washington was the first black mayor of Chicago. They're just not really talking about him now. Why? Because we have another black mayor that everybody do not agree with his principle or his ethics. And so the title of being who you are should never be in an area where you become nasty. I don't care. You know, there are men in my church. There's a couple of elders and deacons. And I would never disrespect them. I would never tell them to shut up. You ain't got no business. That's not me. Why? Because number one, God already told me about how to keep my tone with the man. But if a man say something crazy to me, oh, we're going to have a meeting. Trust me. I had a pastor one time when in the seminary. He would come to the seminary class, and apostle, he would sit up. Oh, well, see, my church is taking me on a cruise, and my wife and I on a cruise, because it's much well deserved. And I'm like, oh boy, he got stupid with me because I turned my head like I'm not sitting here. Why I did that, apostle, was because the teacher was begging the students to get the book material, to learn to read the book material, and they were sitting up there, oh, my daddy is this, and my uncle is that, and my brother, and my all of that. So freaking what? And she literally was begging them to do the work. And that pastor got stupid openly in class. I said, who you talking to? And so she reached under the table and she was rubbing my knee. I'm like, Mama, you better get him, because I will flip this table over. There was no need to attack me. I didn't want to hear all of that. I got up every Saturday, sitting in the seminary for 4 or 5 hours, bringing my children. They tired and hungry and sleepy. Why? Because I'm trying to learn more in-depth study of the ministry to be productive in my community and in my ministry that I serve, because I take it wholeheartedly. I don't sit up and, oh, well, I'm because I can do this. I don't do that. I got folk in the church that walk right past me and don't even speak. But you want to be seen and you want to be heard and you want to act like you're on Star Search. And a lot of them, especially in the music ministry, they become so prominently arrogant that I don't even want to fool with you. Why? Because you act like you on Star Search. Music ministry is very sensitive to me. I'm here by myself, and I can lay down and say, "Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Lord, I love you." And I can sing myself to sleep. Why? Because it's me and the Lord. I don't get on social media to have a concert to show what kind of singer I am. I don't do that because what I do is from my heart. And it burdens me when I see a lot of leaders that, oh, because I'm this, you gonna do that. Oh, no, 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 no. First of all, I have a choice. I have a choice. But these titles have made people become nasty. Some of them have hidden sins. I'm sorry, Apostle. I'm sorry. Many of
Say
them
it.
got hidden sins.
That's right.
Let
Talk
me tell
about
you something. When my children go to places and they see these leaders in the church world at places that they should not be, they're questioning God. And I had to tell a couple of my children, I said, you don't look at them, you look at God. I got sons that don't mind going to the club. They don't mind going to places and whatnot. They're unsaved. Well, sinners go where sinners go. But when the preachers go in the places, in the strip joint, in the club, or at the bar, at the hookah lounge, and all that, my kids send me a picture. That's like this. Click. Didn't he go to so and so church? See, that's how I'm like, but you get him in the pulpit on Sunday. Oh, yes, Job, he had faith. All the friends, huh? Do you hear me? Huh? All of that. That's not how we conduct ourselves. And if the title has to supersede the relationship with God, then you're in the wrong line of work.
it. Mhm.
Because ministry is humbleness. Ministry is meeting the need of the people. It's their souls. You're not telling God to meet you here. You run into him. You're going to God. God, I need help. God, I need you. You chasing after God. God is not chasing after us. And what title a man gives you is what a man gives you. But the calling that God gives you on your life will manifest itself. Why? Because he's going to lay out everything that you go toward to obtain your ministry. God is going to send the people in. Why? Because he trusts you. He trusts you. Not you. He going to have to meet me over here. No. And you ain't sending him nowhere either. So the title is causing people to lose focus on the purpose, whether it's in the political arena or whether it's in the church world. If you are a true politician, you're going to serve the people. You're going to have enemies. You're going to have wars. People will come by and smash your tires. People will come by and break your car windows up. And you still keep going. The late Apostle Robert L. Mitchell, one of the prominent pastors here in Chicago, that man got up every Saturday night or no Sunday night and he tore the house down. And he wasn't talking about the streets. He was dealing with the sin that was in the churches that need to go out. That man got his tires slashed, snakes put up under his car, windows broken, life threatening. That man lived to see a ripe old age of 96 years old. Never died with no foolishness because he still stood on the wall. Why? Because he had churches under him, but he literally cared about God's people. He would call you a big red eye, Jezebel looking weird. He would call you some names, but it wasn't that he was calling you the names because he hated you. He was telling the ones in the church, because a lot of them in the church didn't like Apostle R.L. Mitchell. They couldn't stand him. They couldn't stand him. He told the truth. They couldn't stand, they still can't stand Bishop Earl Carter when he was telling them in our convocation, and everybody gonna talk about it because everybody get mad, when he said that if the homosexuals want to be a woman, then you are entitled to have the same thing a woman have, which is a period. And you can bleed out of your behind. I knew what he was saying. Oh, he shouldn't have said that. That was not, I said, well, wait a minute. Who are you to say anything? Because number one, when Jesus turned the tables over, nobody corrected him.
Mm-hmm.
The money exchangers, Jesus didn't go in there and say, hey, you know what? I know y'all, how y'all doing? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm Jesus. I'm God's son. Yeah, I'm okay with it. But see, my daddy, he not really cool with that right now. So I think y'all just need to go. No, he said, you ain't doing it. And he flipped it up because he was still God's son. Jesus didn't run around having a head on his head and say, I'm God's son. What did the scripture say, Apostle? Who do you say I am?
That's right. That's what he said. That's what they said.
That's real talk.
Real talk.
Jesus died for us, for the sins we were going to do. We were thought about doing. We were doing, contemplating on doing it. And a lot of folk don't understand that. So the titles in the church world, in a lot of areas, break my heart because I'm going to look at you as the leader that you said God called you to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you step out your zone, I'm going to immediately see that you're not of God, you're of yourself. But see, a lot of parishioners, they're not mature to understand that. Because they say, well, that's the pastor. Yeah, but if he go up to the Sears Tower, am I going to fall with him? God ain't told me to go up to the Sears Tower and fall with you. I'm not going to put no pastor in God's position. I'm not going to put no leader equal to God. As the Catholics say, when they do purgatory, they're going to pray you on into heaven. No, that ain't the word. That's your custom. And I grew up in the Catholic school. So I know Catholicism and I know what they were doing. Mary was the focal point. Less conversation about Jesus, not too much conversation about God, because they wear the rosary in remembrance of Mary, the Virgin, Immaculate Conception. See, she didn't walk around saying, I'm Jesus' mother. How y'all doing? Yeah, come on over here. We've been having a little something my child is born. No, she didn't. Mary went through a lot of stuff, emotional, mental. Her husband had to be prompt and ready to be ready for Jesus Christ to come because God chose her. So Joseph's title of being a husband, and she was young, and the people talking didn't matter anymore. How can she have a child that confused the whole narrative? But he had to be dealt with. So in closing, if your relationship is not right with God, your title is just a word.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen too many bishops walk around, I'm this, I'm that, and I will check you. And you know what? A lot of folk gonna be going to the moon with their legs and their hands all up in the air because everybody not gonna play that. They're not gonna play that. Men of God that are leaders, women of God that are leaders, you do not allow the title to get into your spiritual walk that will cause you to have a fight with God and piss the Holy Spirit off. I said I had to go there because that don't work. And Jesus not going to accept it. Because see, when you talk to Jesus about it, he not going to go and say, Katrina want to be this. No, 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 no. The ministry comes because God put it in me. And I'm very passionate about the ministry. But I don't like to see foolishness among the brethren where I can talk to you in the kind of way I want to. And yes, I am because I was put in charge. No, 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 no. You're wrong because you wouldn't want nobody to disrespect you. And we don't do things in the house of God to make ourselves popular. We don't do that. We either going to serve God because we're in love with God, or we're going to do the opposite. The Bible said last night when I was in my accountability partners Bible class in Hebrews 14, follow peace with all men. You got to follow peace. The world is going to do what they do. I didn't like Barack Obama. I didn't like some things Barack Obama did, but I didn't hate him. But he, guess what? The man of God. Black folks wanted to put him in a bishop's uniform and all that. Why y'all making him a bishop? He ain't in nobody's denomination. Well, he the first black president. Uh, he's not a bishop because we create people to be something that they're not. Jesse Jackson never had a church. He didn't have no church. He was a political leader that spoke in the religious sector and the world, which made and he went to school, the seminary, to become a minister. But that was what he did. He didn't have no church. There was no Jesse Jackson Temple Church of Holiness. None of that. He was a reverend in ministry and the political arena. So he never owned a church. They call him a reverend because of his understanding of being taught in the seminary and the word of God in his own way. But he worked more of a politician. I had the pleasure of meeting him twice in my life.
Did we lose Dr. Sanders? Oh, she's still here. Dr. Sanders, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Dr. Sanders. Let me go ahead and close out this show. Um, I want to thank Dr. Sanders for her input tonight. We've been having some difficulties in the studio again, but I believe that this conversation is a conversation that we needed to have. Thank you, Dr. Sanders, for a awesome conversation from you tonight. Again, this is Power 103, the station that empowers the people. Again, we apologize for any inconvenience that we had tonight. Again, we were having a conversation about why people are so title driven in the church and the world, and it's a shame that that we are actually dealing with this the same conversation that we're having. We're dealing with this, and we see this actually happening right before our very eyes. But I want to speak to leadership tonight before we close out. Um, I want to tell you that God don't care about your position. God don't care about your position. God don't care about how much money you have. God don't care about how famous you are. God don't care about how many degrees that you got on your wall. God don't care about how many followers you have. And God also don't care about how many followers that you have on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or with other um, pro, programs that you have people following you on. God don't care about none of that. What God does care about, and I got to say this to people that are title driven people. See, because y'all been letting positions get to your head. Title driven people think because they got money and status, they think that they can do and say what they want to say to people because you got money. Title driven people think because that they're famous and they're a big name in the political, the worldview, or in the church setting, You think that because you're famous, you get to rob the church of their funds because you want to come and speak at their church. You think because you're famous and you have a name for yourself, you get to charge God's people all kinds of money to speak at their church. You think because you got so many followers, you think that a person that knows the word of God and knows that you are a false prophet, you think that they're going to keep following you. But the problem is, just because you have a title, what's the use of you having a title and you're all jacked up? What's the use in you having a title and you have no good character? What's the use of you having a title and you have no integrity? What's the use of you having a title and you are not a person of wisdom? Why is the church trying to throw out titles to these people when they are not spiritually mature? You got the church raising up people and they're not spiritually mature. Just because you got a title, you should be trying to be a servant first. I'm talking to the leaders tonight. I'm talking to the apostles. I'm talking to the prophets. I'm talking to the overseers. I'm talking to people that call themselves bishops. I'm talking to the people that call themselves archbishops and doctors and senior pastors. I'm talking to you tonight. Just because you got a title, it don't mean that you get to cheat. It don't mean that you get to lie. It don't mean that you get to steal from the church. It don't mean that you get to sleep with the women in the church. It don't mean that you get to do none of those kinds of things because you are so title driven. It don't mean that you get to treat God's people any kind of way because you are so title driven. But in my closing statement, I want to say this. A title may introduce you. Let me say it again. I'm talking to the bishops. I'm talking to the archbishops, the chief apostles, the prophets, the fake apostles, the prophets that lied to people, the overseers, the senior pastors. I'm talking to you tonight. See, me, I don't let my title go to my head. You never hear me bragging about my credentials. When people call me Morris, I don't get offended like y'all do. Y'all bishops and apostles and preachers and pastors and archbishops, you get offended when people don't call you by your name. You got to be addressed as Archbishop so-and-so. You got to be addressed as Dr. So-and-so. You got to be addressed when you are in front of people as the overseer. You get offended when people don't call you by your title.
They be ready to
But you
fight.
got to remember that God is going to call you on judgment day by your name. He's not going to say, is Apostle Morris in the house? He's not going to say, is Dr. Morris in the house? God is going to call me by my name. So again, a title may introduce you, but your character will define you. Positions may open the door, but humility will keep you there. God is not looking for people who simply wants to be called great. He is looking for people who are willing to serve greatly. Let me say that again because you title driven people miss this. God is not looking for people who simply want to be called great. He is looking for people who are willing to serve greatly. Don't spend your life chasing a title. Hey, title-driven people, are you still there? Hey, I'm asking, are the title-driven people still there? Are y'all still in the house, or y'all got up and left? Did y'all leave? Are you still here? Don't spend your life chasing a title. Chase God's purpose. It's God. If God chooses to give you a title, did you hear me? Or y'all gone? Or did y'all leave? If God chooses to give you a title, wear it with humility, remembering that the kingdom of God is built through service, not status. Did y'all hear me? Remembering that the kingdom of God is built through service and not status. This is going to be our show for tonight. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being patient with us. And I hope and pray that when somebody goes back to look at this show, they would actually understand that a title is just a title, but it does not define who you are. So this is our show again tonight. I want to thank Dr. Sanders, my co-host, my good friend, my beloved friend, coming into the studio again, because we have great things that need to be talked about. Dr. Sanders, I want to thank you again for a powerful conversation. You always bring it to the table, and I appreciate everything that you do. But I want everyone to get ready for our next conversation. Our next conversation. And that conversation is going to be about, should your pastor still preach in the pulpit when he got a side chick? Y'all didn't hear me. Y'all did not hear me what I just said. Our next conversation is going to be about, is it right for your pastor to still preach in the pulpit when he got a side chick? Dr. Sanders, I know you are waiting for that conversation. I know you can't wait for that conversation. And folks, get ready for a powerful conversation that's coming up again. Should your pastor be allowed to still preach when he got a side chick? But I thought he was married. Well, we thought he was married. But he got a side chick and he's still preaching? My God, get ready for that conversation. That's going to be a powerful one right there. Should your pastor be allowed to preach if he got a side chick? My God, my God. Get ready, get ready. I'm telling somebody to get ready for that conversation, because that's a conversation that needs to be had. Should your pastor still be allowed to preach if he got a side chick? My God. Dr. Sanders, we're going to get on out of here. And I want to thank you for an awesome show. Another awesome show. We are Power 103, the station that empowers the people. Real talk, real radio, real conversations. Again, y'all ain't trying to listen to these conversations because the next one, I'm telling y'all need to stay tuned because again, should your pastor be allowed to preach? He got a side chick. I don't think he should be allowed to preach. But again, church folk gonna say, well, forgive and forget. Church folk are going to say, forgive him. That's what the Bible said. The Bible says to forgive. I am going to forgive anybody for any wrongdoings that they do. But the man got a side chick. Come on, man. He got a side chick. That man got a side chick. And the girl pregnant. The girl pregnant got a side chick. And he up there hooping and hollering and preaching. And y'all sitting back. Y'all ain't saying nothing. My God. My God. The man got a side chick. I don't care what y'all say. The man got a side chick. And he shouldn't be preaching nothing. He should be sitting down. If he gonna do all that, won't he sit down with his side chick? Just tell him go sit down with the side chick. That's what he can do. He can go sit down with her. That's Dr. Sanders. What you think? I think he should just go sit down with the side chick. That's gonna be our show for tonight, y'all. God bless each and every one of y'all. May heaven smile upon you. The man has a side chick. Should he be allowed to preach? Dr. Sanders, I know you can't wait for that one right there. My God, we got some conversations, y'all. Hey, listen, we're not here to beat nobody down, to tear nobody up. We're just here to have fun. We're just here to do our shows and just let people. We're about real conversations. We're about having real conversations for real topics and real people. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to tear nobody down, but I'm going to say it again. Should that man be allowed to preach when he got a side chick? That's
Oh,
all I'm saying.
Lord, help us, Jesus.
He got a side chick, man. And I just don't know about that one, Dr. Sanders. What you think, Dr. Sanders? I don't think that's,
Well, you got the
I'm just,
Pointer Sisters.
huh?
The Pointer Sisters said, bet you got a chick on the side. You know, a chick.
What my man said, what my man, I think it was Joe Tex. Joe Tex said, I got a woman at home that's sweet as can be. I got a woman on the outside that's crazy about me.
Trying to love too. So ain't easy to do.
Trying to love too. Man, good God have mercy, man. He's trying to love too. I'll tell you what, boy. I know his pockets are fat because he trying to love two women in church. That ain't too good. Should a pastor be allowed to preach when he got a side chick? That's going to be our next conversation. We're going to get out of here. We're just having fun. God bless y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight. Great things are coming. Y'all stay tuned because we got a lot of conversations to talk about. It's so much going on, y'all, in the world, and we can talk about so many different avenues. We can go political. We can talk about the revolution. We can talk about Malcolm X. That's going to be another conversation that's
Yes.
going to come up on our show. Who do you prefer was a leader for the African American race? Was it Malcolm X or was it Dr. King? That's going to be another conversation for our show. Again, we're out of here. God bless y'all. We love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Dr. Sanders, God bless you. May heaven a smile upon you. I see you again next week for our next conversation. Again, y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned for our next show next week. Should a pastor be allowed to preach when he got a side chick? That's going to be our conversation for next week. Y'all tune in because this is going to be a good one. I'm quite sure a lot of people are going to say, y'all talking about the pastor. No, we're talking about the side chick that he has, not the pastor. We're talking about that side chick, not the pastor. We're talking about that girl. Y'all, we getting out of here. Dr. Sanders, love you. We are out of here. God bless y'all. We're talking about that side chick next week, y'all. The side chick. God bless you. We out of here, y'all.